Welcome to another tutorial of Proflan YouTube channel. In this particular video, we are going to talk about factor theorem and remainder theorem. We are going to focus on the aspect that you need to understand so that you can be able to solve questions like this for both remainder theorem and factor theorem. If you are new to Proflan YouTube channel, consider subscribing so that anytime I'm going to upload further tutorials, you'll be notified. Now to start here, we are told that if f of x is a polynomial and x minus p is a factor, then f of p is equals to 0. So where have we gotten f of p from? If you take that factor that you are given, for instance, x minus p, you equate it to 0, then you are going to make p the subject and x the subject, and that's going to be x is equal to p, because if you take this on the other side, you are going to have x equals to p. So meaning that if you are going to feed that x is equals to p into the polynomial such that anywhere you have x you replace p, then it means you are going to get the answer equals to 0. Also, for the remainder theorem states that if f of x is a polynomial and is divided by ax minus b, whereby this is not a factor of that polynomial, then you are going to get the remainder, and the remainder is going to be equals to fb over a, which means that that kind of expression you are told to divide the polynomial with, for instance, if it's ax minus b, you are going to equate that equal to 0, and then you are going to make x the subject by taking b on the other side. You are going to have ax equals to positive b, divide by a, these two will cancel out. You are going to end up having x equals to b over a. Now this is the part b over a, this is the part you are going to put into the polynomial and get what the remainder is. Now I'm going to walk you step by step so that we can be able to see what are you supposed to do in order to solve a question like this. We are given x minus 1 and 2x minus 1 are factors of this particular polynomial that we are given here. So from the first factor, we are going to say x minus 1 is equals to 0, and this implies that x is equals to 1. So meaning, if we are going to substitute x equals to 1 in this polynomial that we have here, we are going to get our answer 0. So we are going to say here that since we have gotten our x is equals to 1 from this factor, we can say now f of 1 is equals to 0. So the polynomial that we were given is this. So we are going to say p into bracket. Anywhere you have x, you are going to replace 1. So that will be 1 raised to power 3 plus q into 1 raised to power 2 plus 9 into 1 then minus 2. Our answer must be 0. Because it's a factor, we're going to say our answer is going to be equal to 0. So meaning we are going now to solve this and try to simplify it. This is 1 raised to power 3 is 1, so this is going to be p plus q plus 9 minus 2 is equals to 0. P plus q is equals to what? This is going to be equivalent to -7, and that forms our equation number 1, which we are going, of course, to solve. Next thing that we're going to do, once we have formed the first equation, now we are going to consider the second factor that we were told here. So this was given as the second factor was given as, let's see, the second factor was given as 2x minus 1. Then we are going to say now we shall equate that to 0 as well, and then it means that this is going to be 2x is equals to 1, because now I've taken 1 on the other side, and divide by 2, our x is going to be equals to what? Our x is going to be equals to 1 over 2. Theorem, from factor theorem, we can now say, therefore, since this is to have, our x equals to half must give us a 0 if substituted into this particular polynomial. Then now, we now need to put it in because we have already p and our x. We cube that plus q into 1 over 2, we square that, plus 9 into 1 over 2, and then minus 2, we shall say our answer must be equals to 0. Then this is going to translate to p over 8, and this is going to translate to q over 4. This is going to translate to 9 over 2, and minus 2 is equals to 0. So all through here, what I need to do is to multiply all through by 8. If I multiply all through by 8, everything here is going to reduce to p all through by 8. Of course, if we multiply this by 8, we are going to get p plus, multiplying here by 8, it will be 2q. Multiply here by 8, we are going to get our answer as plus 36. Multiplying here by 8, we are going to get 16 is equals to 0. If we subtract this, we're going to get 20. And of course, taking it on the other side, we end up having p plus 2q is equals to negative 20. And this becomes our famous equation number 2. Now, once we have formed this equation 1 and 2, we can solve the two equations. Now we can say solving 1 and 2. And of course, in order to solve this, we are going to say the first equation is p plus q equals to negative 7. The second equation is p plus 2q is equals to negative 20. And of course, in order to solve this, what I'm going to do here is to subtract the two equations, right? Now, subtracting the two equations, I'm going to say subtracting the two equations, p minus p will run to 0, q minus 2q will be negative q. It will be 7 minus negative 20, and that's going to translate to 13. So from this point here, you can see that if I have negative q equals to 13, then it means that q is equal to negative 13, and that is the value. Now, in order to find the value of p, we are going to use any of the equation. We can even decide to use even the first equation that we had gotten here. Then we are going to say, therefore, p plus q, but our q is negative 13, so we can be able to say negative 13 is equals to negative 7, right? So whatever we have here, we can say now our p is equals to 13 minus 7. So if you subtract the two, you are going to get your answer is what? Your answer is equivalent to 6. So p is 6 and q is actually equal to negative 13. So basically, that's what you are supposed to do. If you are new to Proflan YouTube channel and if you have not subscribed, consider subscribing so that anytime I'm going to upload further tutorials, you'll be notified. Just give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe also to support this channel. Now, moving to the second question that we are having here, of which we are going to use now remainder theorem. And the remainder theorem says that if f of x is a polynomial and that polynomial is divided by a factor here, and the factor is ax minus b, then we are going to get the remainder equivalent to what? B over a. Then in that regard, something that I need to bring to your attention is that the first factor or the first expression we were told that gives a remainder of. Now, in order to work out this, we're going to say x plus 3 is equals to 0. First, take this expression you're given, equate it to 0, and try to find what x is. Now, in this case, our x is equals to minus 3. Then, once you have that, you are going to plug in anywhere you have x in the polynomial, you are going to put these 3 that we have, negative 3 that we have, then you are going to say that is equal to negative 73. Let me show you what you are going to do now. This is going to be a into bracket negative 3. We have said x is negative 3, then cubed minus negative 3 squared plus b into negative 3 plus 2. The answer must give you negative 73. Now, simplifying this is going to be negative 27a. This is going to be minus 9 minus 3b plus 2 is equals to negative 73. Let's keep on simplifying this. We keep on simplifying. What you have to ensure is that issue with simplifying should not be a problem. Be very careful with signs when you are dealing with further pure math, because there are a lot of arithmetic involved. So issues like negative sign, positive sign, putting like terms together should not be an issue at this point. Work on that first. Then now we are going to say this is going to be negative 27a minus 3b minus 7, because negative 7 plus 2 will be minus 7, is equals to negative 73. We need to take this on the other side. We end up having negative 27a minus 3b is equals to negative 73. Negative 73 plus 7, that will become negative 66. Now, at this point, if we decide to divide by negative 3, by negative 3, by negative 3, we're going to make things cleaner here. We shall have 9a plus b is equals to what? This is going to is equals to 22, and that we can brand it as our equation number 1. This will be our equation number 1. So the next thing we need to do is to find equation number 2, and equation number 2 is going to come from this guy that we have here, because that we are told that if divided by x minus 2, the remainder is 22. Now, from here divided we can by x minus 2 is equals to 0, so we can say therefore x is equals to 2. X is equal to 2. We have our x equals to 2, and then we can now substitute x equals to 2 any point we have x in the polynomial, and that's going to be what? So this is going to be a into 2 cubed minus 2 squared plus b into 2 plus 2 is equals to the remainder, and the remainder we were told in this case is 22, so we are going to say is 22 at that point. So once we have this, I want you to now try to simplify and put the like terms together, and this is going to be 8a minus 4 plus 2b plus 2 is equals to 22, and this is going to become what? This is going to become, let me see whether there is space, but I'm going to make use of this space later. This is going to be 8a plus 2b, and this is going to be equals to 24 at this point. 24 at that point. Yeah, so we can brand this as our equation number 2. Now we have the first equation and we have the second equation. So we need to solve this equation and this simultaneously so that we can be able to see what is expected for us. So since we have made use of this place, I believe you have written this. I'm going to erase that. Let me just now get some space here. All right, so we are home and dry. We can see now solving 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Of course, our equation, our actual equation 1 was this. It was 9a plus b is equals to 22. 9a plus b equals to 22. And also we had our b equation b or equation 2 as 8a plus 2b is equals to 24. And how can we be able to simplify this? We can multiply this equation by 2 and this equation by 1, so that I'm going to eliminate b, and this is going to be 18a plus 2b is equals to 44, and this is going to be 8a plus 2b is equals to 24. If I subtract the two equations at this point, I'm going to get 10a is equals to 20 divided by 10 divided by 10. Our a is going to be equal to 2. We have our a equals to 2. And then now I need to find my b, and my b I can be able to use any of the equation. Maybe I can decide and use which equation. What can I use here? I can decide and use equation number 1. In order to find b, we need to use equation number 1. And equation number 1, where is it? Here it is, equation number 1, right? So we're going to say 9a plus b is equals to 22. But we know a is equivalent to 2. We need to find b. So b is going to be 22 minus 9a. And 9a is 18. That is going to be 22 minus 18. And our final answer becomes what? Can you check? Our final answer becomes 4 here. Our final answer becomes 4. The question was, find the remainder when the expression is divided by 3x plus 1. What was our expression now? We're going to go to b. What's the expression? Our expression is this one. Our expression is a. Our a is 2x power 3 minus x squared plus b. Our b is 4x plus 2. So the question is, what is the remainder when this expression is divided by 3x plus 1? So from remainder theorem, if you divide a polynomial with an expression, then the remainder is this, b over a. How are we going to get our b over a in that case? We are going to take this expression we're being told, and we are going to say this is going to be 3x plus 1 is equals to 0. We are going to equate it to 0, and then we make x the subject. So this is going to be 3x is equals to negative 1 over 3 over 3. Our x in this case is going to be equivalent to what? X is going to be equivalent to minus 1 over 3. That is now what our x is. That's what our x is, right? So we are going to substitute anywhere we have x, we are going to substitute x equals to negative 1 over 3. So we are going to just say our expression now becomes, let me see what I can squeeze here. Remainder will be equals to 2 into 1 over 3 negative cubed minus 1 negative 1 over 3 negative 1 over 3 squared plus 4 into negative 1 over 3 plus 2. If you simplify this, can you put in your calculator and check what you are getting? If you put this in your calculator, you will get your value simplifying to 13 over 27. You're going to get your final answer as 13 over 27 as the remainder for this particular question. Consider subscribing so that anytime we are going to upload a tutorial, you'll be notified. See you in the next video.